Hi, it's Gareth Hollis again, and welcome back to the next thrilling instalment of everything you never needed to know about me. And I normally give a trigger warning about that at some point I'm going to talk about depression, but if you watched the last episode, you'll know that actually that's the first thing that's coming up today. So if this isn't going to be a good subject for you, then maybe skip to the next episode. I imagine this will probably be the only topic that gets discussed in this episode, in all honesty. So, um, if you've seen the previous videos, you'll know that my mum also had depression, to the point where she ended up taking her own life, after taking an overdose, and she'd also been cutting herself as well. Um, and it was only like when I had depression later on that I found out a bit more about the family history of depression. That I found out that I'd also had depression running through my siblings, had suffered depression as well. And also that my depression seemed to have started when I was doing learning Arabic, when I was suffering a lot with insomnia. So for a lot of people, they'd go to class, they'd be learning the Arabic, and then they'd go home and they'd revise it. Back in the block. Whereas for me, and yeah, I wasn't the only one who had got a family, got a wife and kids there. But certainly for me, I was struggling with it. I'd get home from work, having been doing the Arabic all day or doing other sort of military related things, because it was a military school that was teaching it. And my wife would be like, right, now I've had the kids all day, right, it's your turn now. And I'd then be looking after the kids until they went to bed. And then my wife would want a bit of time, and obviously we'd have food. And it was probably about 9-10 o'clock by the time then I actually got to start doing my Arabic. And then, I could be doing that till the early hours of the morning, trying to learn these words that would have been so much easier to have learned if I'd been doing them at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And ended up starting, like, getting the stress of this was then stopping me sleeping, and I'd spend the whole night then just in bed but not able to sleep. And then when I was at work then doing the Arabic and doing certainly the listening exercises, I'd put my headphones on, the Arabic would start flowing over me, and instead of taking it in, it just sent me off to sleep, which obviously then made work a lot more, made learning the Arabic a lot more difficult. And certainly the listening is the bit I failed in the final exam, because I just couldn't get the practice in. Every time I heard it, it started making me go to sleep, to the point where I actually started putting on Arabic radio to try and get me to sleep at night. It didn't always work, but I still do it now sometimes, actually. A bit of NHK from Japan with the Arabic news. I don't understand a lot of it anymore. I have to say I've forgotten a lot of the Arabic, and if I knew it in the first place. But over the next sort of, trying to think what it was, probably 6 to 9 months, I was probably losing more Arabic a day than I was gaining. If I'd taken the exam at the point when this insomnia started, I'd have probably achieved a lot better result than I did for doing another between 6 and 9 months of learning it. I actually knew less at the end of it, just 'cause I was forgetting it. I was forgetting it quicker than it was going in. And this is something I found with depression, is it seemed to, certainly for me, been accompanied with memory loss. And like I've spoken before about, my brain seemed to have gone into like regression, or like limiting itself to what it'd allow me to access of my memories, after my mum died. And then after my girlfriend's mum died, in similar circumstances, then I think it did it again. And I seem to have lost so much of my memory, as a result of this. And like, certainly I don't remember a lot of my childhood, but more recent things. I don't remember losing my virginity. I don't remember who I lost it to. I don't remember how old I was. These are things you should remember. I know I used to remember, but I don't remember now. I don't remember how many girlfriends I've had. I can't remember their names. There's just so much I've forgotten that makes life difficult, I suppose, in some respects, because just so much I don't remember anymore. I know from talking on forums on Facebook with other people that memory loss and antidepressants do seem to, that's a subject that seems to crop up quite a bit. But it's still worth doing. I wouldn't swap what I had to over what I've got now. When I was suffering really badly with depression, but had slightly better memory, there's no way I'd swap that for having bad memory now and not feeling like I did. I mean, I didn't even know I had depression to start with. That's the weird thing, because I look back at it now and think, how did I not know that something was wrong? That the first time I think I should have really picked up on it was when I first moved after I'd finished the Arabic course. And the first thing I had to do when I got to my new unit was go on a promotion card, because I got promoted. While I was on that course, I ended up getting promoted. I'd actually turned down promotion before to attend the course, so then it caught up with me anyway. And while I was on the exercise phase of the CARDA, which shouldn't have really been that difficult an exercise, although I had had a bereavement. Just literally, I found out the day I was going that maybe I shouldn't have done it anyway. But the feeling really low. I mean, the whole green stuff side of the military, I have to say, is not my favourite bit anyway. And it was in November, and it was raining every day, and it was freezing cold, and just utterly miserable. And it shouldn't matter, because this is what we signed up to do, and done things like that so many times in the past. But I was almost thankful at the time that I didn't have live rounds, although in a way not thankful, if that makes sense, because I knew that I didn't want to do it, but I know the urge was definitely there, that if I had had live ammunition, then I would have probably put my rifle under my chin and just got on with it. Nice, quick, easy way out that doesn't come with the military a lot of the time, because, well, certainly in my line of work, we don't really get access to weapons that often. So, I mean, it would have been quite tempting. But strangely, I didn't even think that much of it at the time. But then afterwards, I knew that those thoughts were there, if that makes sense. I remember having the thoughts, but only like afterwards, rather than actually remembering them. Oh, I'm not even making any sense. I'm sorry. So it was as a result of this, I went to the doctor about it. I told him I'm not sure if I've got depression, and we had a bit of a chat. And the outcome of it was, the doctor said, "I don't think you've got depression. I think you're just unhappy." Which at the time I was like, what does that mean? Like, it's the same thing. But then, I thought a bit more about it, and I thought, well, if I've got depression, then it means it's all in my head. There's something in my head that's making me be depressed. I haven't really got a choice over it. There's not a lot I can do about it. If I'm unhappy, some external force is making me unhappy. That I can change. And I assumed that it had to be the job, because everything else in life, I mean, my marriage has never been like perfect, but yeah, things were certainly on and up rather than a down at the time. So I knew it wasn't going to be anything like that. And the only thing I thought it could be was work. And to the point where I was actually thinking about, I was looking at other avenues of getting out the army early. What else could I do? Could I manage financially, etc. And a few months went past anyway. I was talking to someone else about how I felt at work, which was essentially, it's not like I was suicidal as such, but I I wouldn't have turned my nose up at it finishing. I was just kind of waiting for my time to come. Yeah, I did look. Yeah, I put probably far too much thought into, well, how could I do it in such a way where it'd look accidental, where my family wouldn't think I'd deliberately done it. That also, I didn't know if it'd invalidate like my life insurance and things like that. So like trying to look at how I could do it in such a way where it wouldn't seem like that's what I'd done. Oh, I've got itchy nose again. Anyway, talking about that, talking about how I was just like waiting for life to be over, like every morning, sort of just disappointed that I've woken up again. Not that I hated life, just I didn't get any pleasure out of life. And this is at that time, I was thinking I wasn't depressed because I'd already been to the doctor and been told that I wasn't depressed. And to me, depression was, being miserable. And I thought, well, I'm not feeling miserable. I'm not feeling anything. Just numb. Just like my emotions were like a flat line. And actually, as I'm saying this, I'm realising a lot of this is very similar wording to what I put in the song Broken Brain when I wrote that. It was one of the things that actually helped me was I started writing songs. And that was probably pretty much when I started writing a bit more, was when about the time I got diagnosed. So I wrote Broken Brain and I wrote Anyone Else Who Isn't Me, which were both about depression and anxiety, and I later on then put them on YouTube, although I'd never planned that when I wrote them. I never planned on them seeing the light of day. I put them on YouTube because I thought actually they could be quite powerful. Sorry. So I ended up putting them on YouTube because I thought maybe if someone else was feeling the same way I did and didn't realise that meant they were depressed, then maybe it encouraged them to seek help. And certainly with Broken Brain, then I had someone else contact me and asking if he could make it into a song. I mean, it was on my collaboration. In fact, no, it was before I had a playlist. But I think I did have it on there asking if anyone wanted to put music to it. And someone contacted me saying, I think this needs to be made. And so anyway, so that's made, and that's now on Alexa and on iTunes and on Deezer and Spotify and stuff. And that's one that I will keep going, and I'm not going to let that one time out because I think that is going to be a useful one. And when Paul made it, he did a really, really good job, I think, as well. Especially by it doesn't even have a chorus. I don't think it needs one. He did a really good job of it. So I said I thought about suicide, and that's difficult to say because if you know from the previous videos, that was what happened with my mum. My mum took an overdose and left us all behind. My girlfriend's mum, then when I was about 18, also took an overdose and left her 3 children behind. But I did give it serious thought. I'm sorry if this upsets anyone. It's not something I'm proud of in the slightest, and something I wish hadn't been there. And I was reading something. It might have been on Facebook. It was a post. It just said like, suicide doesn't end the pain. It just passes it on to someone else, and that resonated really strongly with me because obviously I'd been that someone else that had had that pain passed on to me. And I didn't want to leave that for my children or for my family. And certainly, like my dad or my grandparents had already been through it once. And then for me to do the same thing would have been a real kick in the teeth. And that might have took someone else over the edge. So, that's when I kind of stopped looking at that. But I wasn't getting any joy out of life. And then someone at work I was talking to, and he said, like, you need to go to the doctor about this. And I raised my concerns about that because obviously I've been to a doctor once already. Sorry, I think this is hay fever. Sorry, I'm sat in a caravan and the wind's blowing really strongly. I've got a tree right outside. Something's aggravating me really badly. Um, so it made me, it persuaded me to go to the med centre, and I went to see, deliberately saw a different doctor this time, and she's like, yeah, you've definitely got depression. Put me straight away onto some antidepressants. Gave me some, put me in some CBT, which is cognitive behaviour therapy. Sorry, I'm just going to stop this a moment and try and blow my nose because it's really aggravating me. Bear with me, sorry. Oh, sorry about that. I'm just starting to think maybe the caravan isn't the best place to do this if it's going to get to me like that. I can only assume it's hay fever or something, although it's not something I've suffered with in the past. I was talking about CBT, cognitive behaviour therapy, and that's something that, for me, it didn't do anything at all. It was interesting to talk to someone about it, and I enjoyed going in that he could then gauge my how I changed. Someone who I was only seeing every few weeks had a better idea of whether I was getting better or worse, rather than someone who'd see me every day, and the changes would be more gradual. So what I actually had was like a chemical imbalance in my brain, whereby my brain wasn't producing the serotonin, and so the medication therefore was designed that it'd give me this serotonin, and get my brain used to having it until my body started making it again. Unfortunately, the first medication I was on, that didn't work for me. Unfortunately, antidepressants, or in fact treating depression in general, is not a one-size-fits-all kind of treatment, and there's a lot of variation between different people. So the first medication, which I later learned is one that one of my sisters had, and it worked to treat for her, it did nothing for me. In fact, at that time, it gave me insomnia, which is something that I wasn't suffering with at that point. I'd actually managed to start getting to sleeping better. It also caused me to put on a lot of weight, which was especially annoying because I'd just got, for the first time in my life, just got a six-pack. And I'd just been working out really hard and being on a diet, and just got my body to a point where for the first time in my life I was actually happy with it, and ended up putting on 3 stone. And I've still not managed to shed it all yet. This is a couple of years later now. But getting there. Isolation hasn't been good for that though. Really hasn't been good for that. So anyway, so the first ones didn't work for me. They gradually increased the dosage of them, and it wasn't making things any better. I was getting the side effects, but I wasn't getting the benefits. So tried me on a different medication. I tried that one for a while, and then finally they put me on the one that actually ended up working for me. Although they had to still put up the dosage quite high. And unfortunately, in the military, you're only allowed to be sort of sick for so long before they start looking at getting rid of you. So I ended up coming off the antidepressants again quicker than I really should have done, because you've got to give yourself time to taper it off. You can't just stop taking it altogether straight away. And like jumping off a cliff. That was a wrong analogy. You can't just go from taking loads to taking nothing. You've got to gradually reduce it. So that meant I had to stop taking it a lot sooner really than I should have done. I could have done with being on the full dosage for about 6 months, but from me building up and taking, and then like going back down, tailing off, that was about 6 months all in all. So maybe it's because of that I'm not the happy-go-lucky person I used to be, but I mean, compared to what I was at my worst, so much difference. And in that respect, I can't thank them enough for getting to making me like feel human again, making me feel again, I suppose, because I just wasn't feeling before. But I'll say the flip side of that is my memory has suffered massively. I can't remember a lot of my childhood. However, I seem to think I couldn't remember a lot of my childhood even before I started on the antidepressants. But I assume that was from being younger and my brain telling me that actually you don't want these painful memories. Let's leave those alone. Let's put those in a corner and lock the door. And they're only going to make you sad again. So let's ignore those memories. So I forgot. The irony that I'm about to say, I've forgotten where I was going with that. I have to talk about memory. Um, just talk quickly about COVID-19. Obviously, COVID-19, lockdown, isolation, this is not going to be doing people's mental health a lot of good. And I imagine there's a lot of people who maybe didn't even realise they had depression or anxiety issues that are suddenly finding now that they do. And I know my wife had been thinking she was okay, been getting by for quite a while without medication, and while been in lockdown, her anxiety got so bad that she's had to start having antidepressants and pills again for that. And they're working wonders now. It took a few weeks to kick in, as most sort of antidepressant medication does, but such a difference now. Just a quick plea: if you think you need help, don't be scared to get help. Don't think there's any kind of stigma or anything like that attached to depression or anxiety or any mental health problem, because if you broke your leg, you'd go to the hospital, you get it fixed. If you chopped your arm off, you'd go to the hospital and get it. Well, they can't fix a chopped off arm, I suppose, but you wouldn't just leave it. You wouldn't just hope that it'd go away. And mental health is the same. Like, some people, they will get better on their own. For a lot of people, they need either some kind of cognitive behaviour therapy, which is like talking it out. Like if you've got post-traumatic stress or things like that, then talking about it can really help. Or maybe you've got, like I had, and it's a chemical imbalance, and you need something to replace those chemicals for a while until your body remembers how it's meant to do it. But I think something like 1 in 4 people at some point will suffer mental health problems, and that's just what's recorded. I imagine there's plenty more that never get the help they're after. So don't think that you're different or odd or anything like that, that you're weak for needing help, because if it was anything else, like medically wrong with you, you'd go and get help for it. So don't think that mental health is different. If you need help, go get help. There's no stigma involved. I know there used to be stigma. People used to not understand it. I know my dad certainly didn't understand mental health. He certainly does now, after like me and my sisters and obviously my mum. But because he's never had it himself, he never really understood it. And I think it's the same for a lot of people. People who did have mental health problems probably weren't exactly shouting about it, therefore it never got the attention it needed or it deserved. That attention is now there. It's if you need help, you will get help. There are loads of people who will help you. And I have to say, like, from a military point of view, the military were amazing with this. I was given time off work to go to loads of appointments for it. I was taken off kind of active duty, where I didn't go abroad because I needed to continue the medication and the treatment. I was given so much time off work because certainly with the first 2 medications, I was so tired all the time because I wasn't sleeping. And then on the one that actually worked, even though I was sleeping, I was still completely wiped out. So I was only working part days. Actually, the doctor didn't want me working at all. She thought me being in work wasn't useful, but then I thought the other way of it, like being stuck at home doing nothing, not feeling useful or valued or like I'm contributing, that's going to be worse. And I have to say that after 8 weeks or 9 weeks now of being stuck in lockdown, I think I was definitely right with that one. Me being at home, just sat alone with my own thoughts, that would not have been useful. So I was originally given like early finishes, but the problem was that I was so tired in the morning. So then I was given late starts, and then it gradually turned into I was given a late start and an early finish, and so I did my half day sort of over. Like I think I started at 10 and finished at 2. They were sort of the official hours, not set in stone or anything. It was do what you can. If I wanted to go, like if I got there at 10 and I was like 10:30 thinking, no, that's no good, I'm going to have to call it a day, everyone would have been fine with that. There were some days when I woke up in the morning, I was like, no, today is not a work day, and they were fine with that. And then gradually going into work, the problem with when I was doing sorry, I just realised I did it the wrong way around. So it started as being I was only working the mornings, then it went so I was only working the afternoons. And the problem with just working the afternoons was then if I felt all right, I couldn't carry on because it got to it got to home time and that was it. So then I pushed it back a bit earlier, and one, that meant I could cover people's lunches, and then two, it meant that if I was having a good day and I could carry on, then at least there was still work for me to do. And it gradually got to the point where, oh, that nose again. Got to the point where I could start at 10 and then gradually worked its way to finishing at normal time, and then for the most days, and then eventually, obviously, I got back to going in at normal time as well. But the military were amazing with it, and like even my SJOL, like my report that goes towards promotion, like I was expecting it to be really bad, and it was still pretty positive considering it focused on all the stuff that had been good, and only really alluded to the fact that I hadn't been doing as much as I normally would have, which is why it seemed a bit sparse. And yeah, like I say, if you need help, go get it. If you're in the military, I'd fully expect a similar experience, because the military are all over mental health at the moment. You've got pathfinders and all sorts everywhere. Bottom line, don't put it off. Don't think it's going to get better on its own, because there's a good chance it won't. Yeah, and don't be ashamed of it. Don't be scared to talk to someone. Don't be embarrassed. I mean, this is your health. Probably the most important thing to you. So if you recognise you've got these symptoms, go. If you're not sure, maybe listen to that song "Broken Brain" that I recorded. If you associate with those feelings, then go, because you need help, or there's a good chance you need help. I'll let a doctor decide that one, but just don't put it off, please. Anyway, I feel like I'm waffling now, so I'm gonna get off. Thanks for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Please like and subscribe, yada yada yada, and hopefully we can continue this journey together, and maybe one day I'll find fame and fortune. You can be like, I know that guy, and yeah, I hope you're all coming along for the ride. Anyway, I'll see you next time. You stay classy, San Diego.